child goes through a prolonged period of trauma, and we're looking at a dysfunctional home life or dealing with abuse or bullying, any of those types of things, their brain will have been in the state of stress. The amygdala and the primitive part of the brain that manages stress will be overdeveloped, and particularly if the stress has been prolonged. So what happens is that when the child becomes an adult, they still have this overdeveloped amygdala, primitive part of the brain. The brain is still in a state of stress, and it's constantly looking out for threats. So we've got anxiety. The brain's job is to keep us alive and to move us away from pain and towards pleasure. And the brain and the subconscious mind learn about what is painful and what isn't via our experience as a child. So we end up with someone with anxiety, but also addiction. So addiction is moving someone away from pain towards pleasure. This is actually one of the definitions of addiction, and this is what the brain's job is, right? To move you away from pain towards pleasure. So if any uncomfortable feelings come up or the nervous system is deregulated, then the brain will say, I know what's going to make you happy. Go and have a drink, go and smoke that joint, go and watch pornography, get on your phone, go shopping, eat food, because that's going to make you feel good. And often for people who have addiction issues, they feel like it's out of their control because the brain is taking over. So one of the ways to heal addiction is to teach the brain that, hey, you don't need to do this anymore. Addiction is actually more painful in the long run. So, it's really sad that in our society we look at people who are addicts or who have an addiction as being weak. Well, they're not weak. It's just the brain has developed this strategy to help to regulate the nervous system and to move them away from pain towards pleasure. So please, if you are dealing with anyone with any kind of addiction in your life, have compassion for them. So in hypnosis, what we do is we find out the root cause of the addiction, and then we teach the brain that it doesn't need to do that anymore. It doesn't need that behavior anymore. And it's very, very effective.